Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are making a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we're on the last feature before we finish our demo, right? Like, you know, all this stuff is not the right sprites, not the right layout, but feature-wise, we only need one thing left, and it is the cinematic that you play at the end of the lute song. So I feel like the riddle that you're going to get from the tome here is going to say something along the lines of a mage's castle, right? So I think this is the scene that we are going to transition from corrupted water to uncorrupted water. So right now we've got it, you know, last night we figured out how to change the colors, which is cool and all. It's just that it changes instantly, right? And it changes globally for every purple corrupted water, but it starts off as purple during a scene transition because we're not actually drawing animatables on a scene transition. So there's a couple of issues. Yeah, a couple of issues. So part of me thinks, yeah. So there's twofold to this. It's like, one, we need the game to be able to save the state of the new sprites that are there. You know, it needs to know, oh, opening biome has been cleared, so let's load the same sprite tile global map.lua with all the tile IDs for the cleared water, not the corrupted water. So, you know, there's a couple of different things about it. It's like the game has to remember that they're there. That's one aspect. The second aspect is has to also be persistent upon a scene transition, which it is currently not. That's number 2. And then number 3 is I would like to be able to animate it a little bit. Because right now it just kind of, you know, it's like a flip of a switch, and then it's now on. So I don't really like that. Man, I am so tired. So yeah, I mean, there's, you know, that many issues makes it really tough for the game to kind of handle these things. So, you know, just spitballing, maybe one thing we can do is incorporate saving the global map table upon a save and loading it upon a load so that we can persist these states for the tile IDs, for the ground level tile IDs. So that's one thing, you know, we can at least carry over. Gosh, man, my allergies are killing me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we can persist over. Gosh, man, can't even keep my eyes open. So that solves one thing, right? That'll solve the scene transitioning as well as the persistent data. So that's not too bad. So I guess we just would need to figure out how to animate the scene transition. So I've got an idea thinking about it, right? So like it wouldn't be that hard to update the global map and save it. We want it to kind of fade in magically, right? The purple will fade away and the blue will fade over it, into it. So we have to figure out how to manually kind of render an animatable over a certain tile, row, and column. That's all we've got to do. So first of all, let's go to our map and just see how we're rendering our tiles. Do we render our tile in here? Okay. So this is the code to render tiles from a table, a 2D array of tiles. So we would need to convert our 80 tile table into a 2D array, because we need the 2D array because we need to know what the X offset, what the Y offset is for each different thing. So yeah, we have to nest it like this so that we just print it out tile by tile, column by column, and then row by row. Okay, so far this makes sense. Now, my question is, this can just... This can insert... see, and this is tough because... Well, I guess, you know, we are just drawing, so this does kind of make sense where we're not, because basically our insert anim function for our animatables is just overriding the dot tile of whatever we tell it, wherever we say it lives. So that's what gives us no control over the fading. So if we had something like this that was just render all effects tiles, you know, or effects animatables. See, and that's tough too, because the way we're currently doing that, yeah, I don't know, man. I say we treat it just like our game's treating it now, which is all we do is insert the starting tile ID, and then we can have a check where we cycle through if any starting tile ID of any of our 80 tiles is equal to the starting of the cleansed corruption or whatever. Then we run our insert anim on that tile, which would then change the tile ID. So yeah, the insert anim is actually scripted to our global maps row and column. So we'd have to kind of duplicate a function or do something very similar. And if this is in a cinematic state, we have to kind of think about that too. We'd have to pull out the animatable into the cinematic state so we can still update it. We can do this. We can do it. I feel like I'm like 3 weeks behind on sleep, to be honest. So that's why I'm so tired. Yeah. Okay. Well, what's the first step? First step is probably... See, and do we go with... Yeah, we probably want to go with putting this in a separate scene state, a different state machine, because we don't want to clutter up a new global table for our map. We just want to say, hey, this is a first tome success state, and it knows what scene to render. It knows what scene our player's in and its location, and then we can go from there. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look. I think we call them events. Yeah. So let's go here and let's actually... How do you copy a directory? Can you copy a directory? We basically want to make a new file, and it's going to be called Tome1 Success. Well, you know what? This is like an event, but our other thing, like our refinery, see, it's more like a refinery than it is like the other thing. So we'll put it here because it is a state, right? So we'll call it okay. So we get to declare Tome1 Success State. So this is how our state machine works, how you declare its own state. So we need an init. So we've got this, we need a bunch of junk in here because we need, you know, basically what we're doing is departing from our play state, which has all our logic for basically everything, right? So we have to basically recreate the game in this state so we know what current scene we're at, what animatables we're supposed to be rendering, what collision boxes they're in, what dialogue boxes there are, and where, all that good stuff. And then all the rendering too, so it's a lot. We should have made like a little template for this. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just snag everything in the init here, just so that we have it, and then we'll only keep what we need. So you know, I mean, I'm literally gonna, I don't remember what we need here, so before we get into render, alright, so we have a state name for debugging purposes. We have a current map that we are assigning based on the scene view. We have a row and column. We have all this other stuff that doesn't matter. Okay, we don't need this. You know, we probably won't. I don't think we'll have any dialog box detection because there are no dialog boxes in this scene. We don't need to update our dialog box because it doesn't exist. We don't need any for... Okay. So We still need to render our HUD. We still need to render our equipped item. We still need, what, this active upgrade? We don't need this. We do need our inventory, key item inventory. And then we need our hearts on screen. We need our vibrancy. Yep, everything else as normal. So what's cool is like a lot of the logic is in our scene, right? Everything that exists in our map is part of the scene. So we're basically just saying whatever the scene was, let's just continue it, because we're, you know, continue updating it, continue rendering it, because it's global. So that's one kind of easy part about this, but there is a lot going on. Yeah, part of me actually wants to keep the dialogue collisions and then just make this like a little template, but it won't be tough. Okay. Let's find what scene map row and column we need. Seven two. Okay, we still need a couple other things, like in our main. Right here. Well, we've got this Tome 1 success state now part of our global state machine, so we can kind of treat it like the refinery where we had a special green render. Do we have that anymore? I think we took it out. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to render on screen here in the success state a love.graphics rectangle. Oh my gosh, I am so freaking tired. Okay. Let's actually do this very, well, it'll actually be as wide as the screen, but only like maybe 4 high. Okay, now when we press N, this is in our place state. So what I'm going to do is say go to our global state machine, run the change method. Change to our Tome 1 success state. So let's see. We're hoping... Oh, son of a... We need to require it. Dude, I feel... Oh my gosh, I need some sleep, man. I'm like getting cross-eyed. Okay, let's see. Unfinished string. Okay, so what I'm going to do is press N, and we are hopefully going to see a blue square or a blue rectangle up at the top. Okay, it did reload us at the wrong place, so that just tells me that we're almost there. 7-2, 7-2. Was it 7-4? No, I think it was 9-2. Let's see. Nice. We aren't rendering animatables though, so then we're not properly switching back. So that's interesting. We're kind of stuck in this state. Now we know that this state is kind of limited to this one scene, so we can say change back to play state if we do a scene transition or a warp zone transition. Or if the tutorial or the cinematic is done. So let's get animatables rendering in this state machine, because everything else should be the same, right? We've got our spell casting, we don't have inventory. Do we not have inventory in the refinery either? I don't know. Oh wow, we don't. Yeah, we don't have inventory here. Okay, well, let's make a note to add that. Oh my gosh, dude, I am so tired. Okay. So we need to find where we're updating our water, for example. Really? What the heck? So we defer our animatable update to this insert animation class, and it is a class. Insert animation. Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to do something similar like this. You know, I hate to say it. I've just got so little energy that I'm just not gonna be productive. So I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. I should have a little bit more energy when I sleep, and then we can get some more stuff done, because a couple days till April, we have one last feature to do, and then we just have a lot of polish and testing. So yeah, I'm super proud of us. We've got really far this month, and we'll keep it going. So hopefully we can get Tashio on Steam in the next month or so. So at least the demo. So yeah, hey, thanks for watching. Sorry I cut it short, but just not feeling it. So take care. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.